Doesn't matter.
All right, so we'll have Chelsea go first. It's October 27th, 2016. So Lifetime Fitness training call. We have some leaders from our team that are going to share some of the tips that they do often that helps them to keep their business rolling. And they're going to leave us with an action item. All right, ready, set, go.
Okay. I am super excited to talk with you guys tonight. I always get a little nervous when Robin asks me, but I am just super excited. There's just exciting things going on right now, and why not be excited? Because, yeah, this business is just exciting if you are in it and committed to it. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that that I've learned and has evolved for me in my business, but that I think I finally found something that works, and I wanted to share it with you. So today I am talking about tracking. So in the compound effect, I'm going to talk a lot, or just take some little snippets from what he says, because he can say it a lot better than I can. But he says all winners are trackers. And I believe that 1,000,000%. So just raise of hands, how many of you can tell me how many people you invited in the past 7 days? Yeah? This is like super important. If you don't know how many people you've invited, or if you are like up in the air, like maybe I've done this much, maybe I've done that much, then it's hard to really know how much your business is growing or not growing, or where, what you're doing, if that's the cause of what's giving you results, or if having people transfer over as customers or coaches or things like that. So the best thing that you need to do is start tracking. So I'm gonna read this. That comes from the compound effect. Ooh. It says, to help you become aware of your choices, I want you to track every action that relates to the area of your life you want to improve. If you've decided you want to get out of debt, you're going to track every penny. If you've decided you want to lose weight, you're going to track everything that you put in your mouth. For this business, if you want it to grow, then you need to track everything that you're doing, every conversation that you have, every invite that you have, every time that you have your personal development done. It's best. And you might be thinking in your head, oh, tracking, well, I think about it in my head, or I have a to-do list that I try to get through every day. But physically writing it down on a piece of paper is going to go so far. So he continues to say, he says, doesn't sound like much, I know, writing things down on a little piece of paper, but tracking my progress and missteps is the one reason I've accumulated success that I have. That's what Darren Hardy says, and he's pretty successful. So the process forces you to become conscious of your decisions. What's simple to do is also simple not to do. It's really easy to get off the tracking wagon. I know that I have gotten off of it, and then I'm like, well, I feel so unorganized, or I have no idea where my conversations are, or I'm not reaching as many people. Then that's because I've stopped tracking, and so I'm not able to know exactly where I'm at in my business. Okay. And he continues to say, he says, the magic is not in the complexity of the task, because inviting or reach outs or things like that are all pretty easy in general, right? He says the magic is in doing the simple things repeatedly long enough to ignite the miracle of the compound effect, which is the small decisions that you're making every day that make the biggest difference, right? So the biggest difference between, he continued, and I'm sure you've heard this quote before, the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not. Remember that, remember that, remember that, because I know that this is something that's super easy, but like he said, it's also super easy not to do it. But if, and sometimes it can seem tedious to write down how many people you've talked to, how many invites you've sent out, how many conversations you've had, things like that. It can seem tedious, but it will help you a lot. It will help you a lot. So I am just going to share with you. I have my own little system, and Heather gave me this idea of sharing it with you because she reached out to me and was like, hey, how do you have your tracking sheet, because we're in a little training group together. But she reached out and was like, can I have that? Do you have a one that you can customize? So I am going to upload this to the team page so that you guys can download it and customize it to yourself for your needs and things like that. There's lots of different tracking sheets out there. I know that Beachbody has a specific one, but I like this one because I can customize it to me and the things that I do regularly and what work for me in my business. But I wanted to, it's just easy to customize, which I like for me. It helps me in my goals for my own business. So I just wanted to share it with you. I wanted to screen share just so I could talk a little bit more about the sheet and how I use it. Oh, nope. Hold on. I obviously haven't shared the screen a lot. Let's see. Can you guys see that? Is that a yes?
Yes, we can see it.
Do you see my mouse over it too, or do you just see the sheet?
We can see both.
Okay. So this is my weekly tracking checklist. So I just put in the week that I have. I print this out since Beachbody Weeks run from Thursday to Wednesday. That's what I made the week as, is Thursday to Wednesday. As far as your commissions and all that, that's how it runs. So that's how I made it. And then I added in, so there's the weekly goals, and I am completely committed to your desirable outcome. Whatever you want to have, you are completely committed to it, and this is what it is. So that could be reaching Success Club. That could be helping 2 people. That could be, I mean, whatever your weekly goals are, that's just a good place to focus on it. Then I have add new friends to Facebook, follow new people on Instagram, new non-Beachbody reach outs on Facebook and Instagram, challenge group invites, coach up invites. Anyway, all these different things that I do. Let's see what else. Maybe I have check in with your challenge groups and my wellness club, which are like my veteran challengers. Because I have a lot who are like, this is the same thing every month, and so I just move them into that group. Let's see, answer your messages, go through your follow-up list, social media brainstorm, so you can kind of go through ideas of what to post the next day. So I have these little check boxes. So what I would do, I would just print it out. I would set out my goal. So my goal for friends on Facebook is usually about 1 to 2 per day. I'd write 1 to 2 so I can just keep an idea of what I needed to do here. You can go through and customize, and on the one that I'll upload, it'll just be a Word document, and so you can go in and customize this. So you can change things and take it out and do whatever you need there. Let's see, then I have my daily vitals down here, check marks. I have my national wake-up call. I have my projects list for the week. I have a reminder to get in touch with all my challengers and club members. They're just my VIP people. Then I meal plan and prep on Sundays. I use Teamsy to track all my contacts. So I like to update that daily if I can. And then just group networking on Facebook. I know that we've, in previous team calls, we've talked about how to network, and I'm in a bunch of different groups on Facebook, and so that's just my time to kind of connect with people there, post in there, and make new friendships there. So then you have your top projects for the week. Things for me, like this week, I have mine out. Let's see. Promote my free group and get 50 to 60 people committed in there. I have my promote my nutrition reset and get at least 10 people committed there. Secure Success Club is in there. Meal planning group updates and things like that. That's just some things for me, some things to think about for the week. Then I have this conversation tracking sheet just so that you can write So I print this out. So obviously this would be in pencil, but it would be like, I talked to this person and that was a reach out. And so I would just kind of take notes so that I can update it later. Sometimes it's easier than updating my Team Z, like as I go. Sometimes it's easier to just write it out by hand. And then down here, I have my purchase tracking area. This is a new one than what I had sent to you, Heather. But this is like for people who I have sent a link to and they committed to purchasing something. That way, when you get a ton of people that you're talking to, like I have like 6 people right now on this list. Just from this past week. And so it can get overwhelming to keep track of, oh, this person said they were going to order this day, or I need to track this. And so I have that just so that I can take note on, they said that they were going to purchase it. I sent them the link. So then if I haven't seen it there, then I can say, oh, who is left who said that they were going to order it? Then I can follow up with those people. And then from there, that can be a good place to put it for I'm totally from Idaho. I've heard Robin say that too. Let's see. Then I will know where to put them, whether I have them in my free group or if they're in my challenge groups. When you have, I don't know about you, or if maybe it's just a struggle that I have, is keeping track of where all these people are going in my group. So that's what I use it for. I'm just knowing where to put people. So I will be downloading this to the team page. But just as a little reminder, or just an ending, wrapping this up, it says you cannot manage or improve something until you measure it. Likewise, you can't make the most of who you are, your talents, resources, and capabilities until you are aware of and accountable for your actions. So if you are wanting to grow this business, you can't really improve it unless you know where you're starting from. So my challenge or action item to you this week is to download a tracker sheet, whether it's this one, whether it's the one that Beachbody has, the business activity tracker. Download it and do it at least for a week, every day for a week, and see if it makes a difference in your conversations, in your building your business and things like that. So that's what I say. Questions? Does anybody have questions? I see a chat.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I'm super excited to download it. I like it.
Me too.
All right, Brittany, you want to go?
Sure. Great job, Chelsea. That was fantastic.
Thanks, Britt.
The only reason I raised my hand was because I knew I invited 0, so I wanted to make everyone else feel better that didn't raise their hand. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about being an actual health coach. That might sound a little forward or something, but so when people come to you and they say, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm a health coach. And I say health coach because in my experience, when I have said Beachbody coach, I feel like, I don't know, there's this automatic wall that goes up with them. And maybe it's just me assuming, but maybe I'm assuming they've had past experiences, or maybe I'm assuming that I'm just being nice to them because, I want their business or whatever. So I say I'm a health coach, and 9 times out of 10, that normally starts a conversation going. And so then I can say, yes, I am a Beachbody coach. I do use their products and I love them, but I also do this, this, and this. And so that's kind of what I am going to talk a little bit about. So number one, I guess, is, I'm a motivator, supporter, encourager, which I bet all of you guys have that down, you're great at, because that's what I feel like Beachbody coaches do. We run the challenge groups and we keep people motivated. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but the reason that is one of my is because some people just think I am a Beachbody coach, so I sell stuff, but it's more than that, obviously. So number 2, and that's when I talk about, I run the online challenge groups, monthly or every other month or whatever. And so that goes there. But number 2, this is, I also educate people. There's a national wake-up call a couple months ago that said, if Beachbody just disappeared, what would you have left? If there were no products or anything, what would your business be like? And so that really got me thinking, because I've had family say, you're just like everybody else, this business is just like all the other MLMs. And so to me, I don't know, I want to be a little different, I guess. And that's why I'm at Success Club Zero. I have been focusing this month on my group that I'm doing, my kind of nutritional fixate group. And all of my time has been being put in there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been doing with that. And let me see my notes real quick because I'm all over the place. But I post 3 times a day. The first one is, a very educational post. It's not just like why water is good for you. It's like actual health items, what is GMO? What are the marketing buzzwords that trick you at the store? Partially hydrogenated oils, what are they and why are they so bad? Why light and fat-free items, are not great. And artificial sweeteners, why sugar is controlling this world now, sugar is worse than fat these days, intaking it, I guess. And this can get tricky because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of opinions. I'm taking the course to become a fitness nutrition specialist because I want to kind of have that title and that education, but I really don't even agree with a lot of the stuff in the book. Like, maybe it's just because it comes from the government or whatever, but I feel like it's old material. I feel like they're still using the pyramid, which has kind of been outdated, they tell you need dairy and dairy and meat, and you just, you need calcium and protein. So, a lot of it is researching it, and you do what feels right, I guess. I just got the 100 days, Chelsea got me interested in that 100 days of real food girl. She's got a new book, and I got that book, and I'm loving it so far. It's got a lot of information. I think it was only like $25 or something, but that's been awesome. So anyway, my second post is like a common household item that people normally have in their cupboard. Skippy, peanut butter or Jif, Cool Whip, margarine, all of those have that partially hydrogenated oil, which is one molecule away from plastic. Okay, so there was an experiment done, and this is something you guys should do, yourselves. I want to do it, and I want to do this experiment where, you make your own whipped cream, and then you have a bowl of Cool Whip, and you put them side by side, and you see what happens. Within an hour, the homemade starts, losing its shape and melting or whatever, but the Cool Whip keeps its shape. It doesn't change at all. And there was an experiment done, over a week, it didn't do anything, and you actually touch it and it's hard, kind of like plastic. So we used to have Cool Whip all the time in our house, but it's not in here anymore. So that kind of stuff. What else? Aspartame. I talked a lot about artificial sweeteners. And the household items were Crystal Light, sugar-free gum, diet sodas, they've all got that aspartame in them that's very addictive, and people might have aspartame poisoning and not even know it. They think they're drinking these sodas to solve all their problems like migraines and I don't know, sweet tooth or whatever, but really it's probably causing them. So that's my second post that I've been doing. And then the third is just like a new clean recipe that I've been, that I'm trying. I try to do a recipe every single day, whether it's just, a smoothie or a salad dressing or it's an actual meal. But I feel like, we might show a picture of the salad that we're eating, but then right next to it, we have Hidden Valley Ranch or, some other store-bought, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have some zesty Italian every once in a while, but, but as health coaches, I really think we should be promoting more clean option or real food options, I guess. So I guess for this number 2, this is just about, start looking at the ingredients of the things you're eating and then just researching them, just kind of be a little bit more proactive that way. Today, my phone was being kind of slow, so I opened Google and I looked at went to all the windows, and it seriously took me like a minute to get rid of all the and that might seem like a short amount of time, but that's a long amount of time when you're just like swiping things off. I had a lot of stuff in there that I was researching. And one of my goals is, and I've had this goal for a long time, but with Shakeology, I want to print off, go to Wikipedia, some reliable source, I guess, and look up the ingredient, print off a little thing about it, make a binder, and then see what it does and make a chart. And maybe I'll have Chelsea do this because she's good at that. But then you just cross-reference everything, so when someone comes to you and they say, I have high blood pressure or something, you can say that Shakeology has this, and this in it, and I can go right to what has it. Anyway, that's just a goal of mine. But let's see. So anyway, and then this number 3 is just, they have my continued support. Whether they don't do Shakeology, whether they're just a free member, I'm not just sending them a monthly email. I'm doing a reach out. Not necessarily every month, but I'm continually letting them know that I am here and willing to help them, I guess. So I guess, my notes are all over. Sorry. I would suggest getting on the Fixate show. That has a lot of good info, and I'm really liking it. Not just their, informative videos, but they've got some good recipes. Their kale nachos are really good. My kids love them. So let me see here. Call to action, I guess, is think of something. We all know something that's bad for you, but think of something that you can research and then post about it. And, try and get that in your weekly, maybe once a week, you can try and do that. But you got to be careful, I guess, how you portray it, because, if you just flat out say, I don't buy store-bought bread, people might see that as I don't know. It just comes off a little, I don't know, I'm better than you. I don't know. But if you say it more I have so many failures as a mom, but I feel really good about how I make my own bread for my family, because then it doesn't have this, and this in it, or something like that, or like diet soda. Everyone and their mom drinks soda. So it's you can't just say, if you're drinking soda, you're going to die. Okay. So you have to be make it a little bit personal. And my husband's sitting right next to me, so I can't really say what I was going to. Just kidding. But you can just say, there's someone in my life that I love who hasn't ever been raised this way or taught this, and I don't know. So you can just kind of play with it a little bit. Be careful how you portray, what's in it and what's bad for you. So other than that, that's all I have. So there is a chat box.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love, 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 love it. I think a lot of times we take advantage of the challenge group, like things they put together, and we just like go through the motions and just let it be. And, you know, as Beachbody coaches, our main knowledge comes from using the products and getting results and using the program so that we can show someone else how to do it. But we have to be proactive in helping these people get results. Like that is the biggest thing that's going to keep them understanding the value of Shakeology and like trying other programs and staying a customer, becoming a coach themselves, is by you educating them on why what they're doing is so important. Like, anyway, and we all do it and we've all learned it, but whether or not we're actually educating in our groups, that's up to you if you take the time to create the content to do it. And like Brittany said, this whole month, she's taken so much energy to create this content for this group. And I think that's awesome. Because we do, all coaches need to be a little more proactive in really understanding what they're doing. Because someone giving their help to you is a big deal. Like, we don't take that lightly.
I think it's important too is that yes, the products are great, and yes, the workout programs work, and yes, there's the containers, but they can only go so far. I think that you still need to educate people on health, and that's where you never stop learning. You never stop learning about nutrition and clean eating and why it works, because you have to share that with people if you want them to be successful. It can't just be use these portions and use this workout and you will be successful. You have to start educating people, I think, on a deeper level to get them sticking with you. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learning through the process. But
yep. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. All right, Heather, what do you got?
All right. So before I start, I think it's really awesome that just as a team, how all of our different strengths play together to make one really awesome whole. You know what I mean? Like each of the people that you've asked to talk tonight, we all picked something that we feel strongly about and something that we feel is one of our strengths and we would be comfortable sharing. And they're all different, but together we're all educating the team and help building up each other. So I just think that's really awesome. And thank you for the opportunity. The topic that I've chosen tonight actually is about being a friend first, building a real relationship with people. And actually, I didn't know what I was going to talk about until last night when I was doing a whole bunch of reach outs. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine from my freshman year of college. And it was a boy, so that's probably why he was like, you know, this ended up happening. But we were talking for a little while, and I was, you know, started it out with, hey, how are you doing? You know, it's been a long time. What are you up to these days? And we kind of talked for a couple messages back and forth. And then out of nowhere, he was just like, so what made you want to message me tonight? And I was just like, well, okay. And I was honest. I said, I saw your name pop up in my messenger feed and I thought I would say hi. And because I was doing reach outs, I was being honest. That was what I was doing. I was saying hello and seeing how he was doing. And then he sent another message back and he was like, well, so you really didn't have anything that you wanted to talk to me about? And I was like, no, I honestly just wanted to see how you were doing. And I think that is so important, guys. We need to be invested in these people first. We need to really get to know them and let them know that we're there for them for more than just being a salesperson. Because honestly, when I'm talking to people, I will tell them, I will say, I'm a Beachbody coach. And a lot of times it's, hey, how are you doing? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing great. You know, my husband and I just moved back to Pennsylvania. We're finally at home and it's really awesome being back close to family. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I also get to work from home as a Beachbody coach and I love it. And so they know up front that I'm a Beachbody coach. And a lot of people honestly are excited about that. They're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you found something that you like or whatever. But they know up front that I'm a coach. And I'm proud of that. And I want to share that with them. But I don't push it anything in the first conversation. And But because of that, like, you want to make sure that in your first conversation, you're really just talking to them and seeing how they're doing, because you don't want to come off salesy. You don't, at least I don't want to be that salesperson. I don't want people to see my name pop up in their chat and think, oh my gosh, she wants to sell me something. When, yes, that's part of what we do. But for me, I want to help people. I want to help them to become a better version of themselves and to become healthier and happier. And I need to really get to know them to be able to do that. And so tonight, I want to share with you the ways that we have in place to do that. So when you first join Beachbody, corporate has come up with all of these awesome trainings for us in our online office and in the Getting Started section. And one of those trainings is called How to Build Relationships. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. So we know that the 4 vital behaviors, and they've rearranged the order of them, but the 4 vital behaviors are be proof of the product, which is really important. The second one is invite, invite, invite. The third one is recognize. And the fourth one is personal development. And we know that in order to be a successful coach, we need to be consistently doing all 4 of those things every day. But today I'm going to talk about inviting, and specifically the first inviting. Before any of the others, Beachbody says invite to be your friend. And they give you an acronym and a way to focus on doing that. And you've probably heard of this before, but they say form the relationship. So FORM. The F stands for family. So the first thing is you say, hey, how are you doing? How's your family? And then they get talking, and everyone loves to talk about themselves. I know I love to talk about myself. I find myself doing it too much often. And so really just listen, find out what they're excited about, like what's going on. Like, oh, you just got engaged. That's so exciting. Like how did it happen? How are things going? You know, and they'll tell you about themselves. They're excited about it. And then a lot of times they'll ask you how things are going, and it's a good place to, you know, to give them a little update and let them know that you're a Beachbody coach, or whatever you feel like saying at that point about yourself and your family. And then the second letter is O, and that's occupation. And this here you ask them, you know, well, what do you do for work? Or, you know, where are you living? What do you do for work? That kind of thing. And even more than that, something that you can do is even ask them more about their job. Like once you find out what they're doing, ask them what they think about what they're doing. Like, do you enjoy that? Like, what do you like about your job? Or even what don't you like about your job? Like, what are the challenging things? Because a lot of times, a lot of people will have something about their job that they don't like, and maybe that could open up a doorway into another conversation at another time that could lead into coaching or the Beachbody opportunity. You know, you never know, but if you don't ask those questions, you won't know. The third letter is R, and that's recreation. What kind of things do you do for fun? Where does your family like to vacation? Do you have any hobbies or sports or, you know, any of that kind of stuff? Just get to know them and who they are and the kind of things that they like. Build that relationship, because it's vital. It's a very important part of this business and just to being a genuine person. So those are the 3 things that you really want to talk about before you even get to M, which is your message and sharing and inviting. And those are, it's just awesome. I have really, really enjoyed reaching out to people and talking to people. I've made it my goal to reach out to 10 new people every day. And I am not perfect. I have had many days in the last couple of weeks that I haven't reached that number, but I try, and that's my goal. R was recreation. Sorry, I just saw the chat pop up. But to reach out to those people and to make those friendships. And because of that, like, I have a friend coming to Super Saturday with me on Saturday, and she's someone that I haven't talked to since high school, and I wasn't even really that close of a friend with in high school, but she's excited and she wants to come, and it's going to be awesome. And I have another friend who just had a baby, and we went out to lunch, and someone else I hadn't talked to since high school. But even before that, like, we met each other in elementary school and weren't really great friends since elementary school. So it's just really fun to reconnect with these people and to just be that genuine person. And throughout all of this, something else that I find is really important, that I know that, I think, Robin, was it Missy Reber that had all of those inviting trainings that we watched, that you shared? She talks about relating and validating during your invite process. And I've noticed that that's even a valuable tool when you're just talking to someone in a regular conversation, when you're building that friendship. Like, they say something like, oh, I have 3 kids and I'm working full time and it's, life is crazy. You relate to them. You say, oh my gosh, I have 3 kids too, and they drive me crazy sometimes, and life is so busy and it's hard, and I know exactly how you feel. And then you tell them that it's okay to feel that way, and you make them feel good about themselves and about their life. And you do that throughout the whole process of talking to them and becoming their friend, and you just make them feel important and make them feel like they're enough, because everyone wants to feel that way. So once you talk about all of those things, once you build that relationship, a lot of times I'll just let that first conversation just kind of, I'll continue the conversation maybe over a couple days until it just kind of dies down. And then when I have my next group coming up or something, my free group, I'll message them again and be like, oh my gosh, I have this group coming up, and I'd really enjoy it if you join me, or do you, whatever the process is for that particular group that I'm working on. But I think it has really helped me in my process to start with the friendship and to have those non-Beachbody related conversations first. I really struggled my first month in the business because I was trying to reach my goals, and I was trying to get Success Club, and I was trying to do all these things, but I didn't feel like I gave myself enough time to build the relationships before I started to invite people. So I wasn't getting responses. No one was responding to me because all I did was send them an invitation. And they're like, oh, she's trying to sell me something, because I hadn't built the foundation of that relationship. And it's really important to do that. Something else that I wanted to share that they have in the How to Build a Relationship training form is this quote right here. It says, always remember, friends don't charge each other for great advice and support. So be genuine and treat everyone like they're a friend you've known for years. Guys, we have to treat everyone like they're someone that, is really important to us, someone that we've known for a long time, someone that we respect and we value. And they can tell when we've invested that energy and the time to getting to know them and to becoming their friends. And it really does, it does make a difference. So I don't know exactly how much time I've taken. I think I'm kind of close to my limit. But for my action item for you guys, I want each of you this week to start at least 3 new non-Beachbody conversations every day. Because even if you start the 3 conversations, maybe 1 or 2 of them will answer you. Maybe you'll get really lucky and all 3 will answer you. But that gives you at least an opportunity to most likely be able to talk with at least 1 person every day. And don't bring up Beachbody. don't bring it up at all. I mean, unless they bring it up themselves. I mean, you can say that you're a coach or whatever, but don't bring up the products and don't bring up your groups or anything unless they specifically ask you about it. But just build the relationship. Focus on that. Focus on them. Because the more you do that, the more they'll genuinely be interested in hearing what you have to say when you do bring it up. So, and if you feel like you've talked to all of your friends online or all of your Facebook friends or something, talk to the lady at the checkout counter at the grocery store. Build a friendship with her, because she'll see you every week when you go grocery shopping. She'll see your changes. She'll see you being healthier. She'll see your choices that you're making. And who knows, maybe one day she'll want to join one of your groups or be inspired by you to be healthier. You know, you never know. Like, you're impacting tons of people every day that you don't even realize it. People are watching you. People are inspired by you. So be your best you and give that to all of your friends. Be their friends, because it'll mean more to them than you know. So that's my spiel for tonight. Be a friend, because everyone needs a friend.
That's awesome. I'm gonna just put Lindsay's in the team page, because I don't know how long they are, and I haven't even listened to them, but I know that she had some really, really great tips on mindset. Mindset shift, like how to stop being afraid that you're going to be salesy or that people are going to assume something. She has really taken a leap in that way, and I know that she had a really good video about that. And so I'll post that in the team page, and then you guys can watch that. But man, talk about like a lot of good stuff. My brain's like, really, really good tips. Like each one of these could have been a call by itself. So we've been well taught. And I love all these calls to action, and I'm excited, like I said in the chat, I like to work from a list. And so I feel like I have a little list of what I'm going to do this week. Because sometimes I'm brain dead and I need help. Okay. So I'm really, really excited about that.